Douchebag to boyfriend. Any percent run. Howdy ho, and welcome back to Whole Chat, a podcast about queer comics that you may have heard of before. Each week we take a different story and slowly open it up to discuss the characters, themes, and of course the horniness. Safe to say there will be mild spoilers, but we're going to keep away from revealing the ending or doing any major plot twists. I'm your host, Chuck, here again with my favorite person to watch, Keelz. What's up?
What do you mean by watch? You watching me, Chuckles?
I live in your house, dude.
Inside my walls.
I mean, yeah, sometimes I live here.
I know.
Don't make it weird.
It sounds weird. You're watching me.
Yeah, I have to, and it's on theme for today because we're gonna talk about douchebaggery and all of its trappings, and whether or not you can pull yourself back from the brink of being an irredeemable fuck nugget.
Is this another stalking case because of the whole watching thing?
No, this time it's BJ Alex.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna do streamers,
Yes.
baby.
Okay, I know of this one.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty fucking notorious in, I guess, the boy love, girl love, whatever community. If you're reading comics of this nature, you've probably heard of BJ Alex. It's, not the it girl, but she's controversial is what I would say.
I do know that while it was flaring up in popularity, I just loved watching people lose their mind about it. I wasn't joining in, but I was like, wow, look at all the cars on fire. Everyone's excited.
It is truthfully one of the most controversial things I've read in a group setting. For me, super chill for the most part. I got angry and then I chilled out about it and it was okay. But as far as people's reactions to it, insane.
So controversial shit, controversial story.
Story is controversial. People are so mad about it. It is only being upstaged by one other comic, which I will mention in a second because that's very relevant. But before we get into all of this, remember to like and subscribe. And if you have Prime, please log in and use that to... No, I'm just kidding. We're on fucking podcast mode.
Okay, you actually got me there because I was like, I know we're shooting this thing, but this is your project. I don't know. Are we doing that?
No.
Doing it?
I'm trying to be on theme. I think it's cute.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting these are themes.
Streamers. Full respect to streamers, by the way. Just, streamers. So, BJ Alex is the first major boy love work by Minghua, debuting in 2017 on Leizen. Prior to this, she wrote a single shoujo romance comic, but it's out of print and she'd prefer if you don't ask about it. So do not ask her about it. She is also the author of Jinx, so whether you have positive or negative feelings about that manhwa, this should definitely be of interest to you. And this is what I mean. The only comic I think that has usurped BJ Alex as far as controversy goes is Jinx, which is her other comic.
Okay, so she wrote them all. I guess I'm weirded out by you using the term controversy. Because when I hear controversy, my brain's like, what do you mean? What law was broken?
Fandom level controversy. She broke hearts and minds.
Okay, so it's kind of like when you read a story and you're like, we're all cheering for this person, and then they do something awful and you're like, fuck you, why did this happen? Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's that level.
Okay.
Yeah.
As someone who reads isekais and all those girl loves where they have to pick a boy and the author leads heavily into one boy and then she reveals he killed her sister or something, and then you're like, Tyra Banks, we believed in you. Yeah, so I get it from a different level, but I get it.
Yeah, this is in that area. So this tale is primarily about Nam Dong-gyun, the main character, and An Ji-won, the male lead, and their complicated parasocial relationship. There's a side couple that also makes a pretty prominent appearance that we'll get to at some point, and they'll be important to you on your journey through this one because they are very much needed. Their moments are very important.
Can you give the names again?
Dong-gyun and Ji-won.
Dong-gyun?
Yes.
I'm going to mess this up.
That's okay. We have a nickname for him.
Oh, good.
So no, yeah, it's used really regularly in the comics, so we will take care of that.
I'm terrible with pronunciations of anything.
Donghyun is one that like messes with my mouth. Actually, I'm piss poor at it.
Yeah.
But most importantly, this is a story about trauma and cam boys.
Like porn boy? Like porn? Like OnlyFans?
Yeah, we're doing it.
Okay, this is gonna be real stupid of me. I didn't know there were boy versions. I thought it was all just women.
Oh, anybody can be on OnlyFans.
I'm old. I'm not, but I act old.
It's not even about being old. I think you forget that there's men doing porn.
I just don't pay attention to the internet. I swear to God, I'm a 1950s ghost trapped in a mortal shell. I know more about wax cylinders than I know about this.
Well, you're gonna learn.
Buckle me up.
So, this story kicks off in the worst way by introducing us to Nam Dong-gyun's free time, which includes jacking it to an unreasonably hot, not safe for work streamer that goes by the name of BJ Alex. In this case, so everyone knows, BJ stands for broadcast jockey. It does not stand for blowjob. You would think it does.
I did. I was expecting blowjob, but I was also going to ask broadcast jockey as like another way to say a podcaster.
So no, they're doing video streams. They're doing streaming. Okay. Yeah. They're doing sexual live streams.
So this is their OnlyFans.
Yes, but broadcast jockey is not just for the sex streamers. It also includes other streamers. So where we call them streamers here, in Korea they call them BJs, so broadcast jockeys.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so similar to on the radio, how you have a disc jockey.
Yeah, it's just different slang. Like
yes.
Knob is a brand of whiskey here, but over in like Ireland and the UK, it's a cock.
I also just thought it was a PP.
I'm not an alcoholic, but I do like Knob whiskey. Not sponsored, but do try.
Oh boy. But so Nam Dong-gyun, jacking it. This is routine for him, very clearly, and he consistently simps for this man, giving him hundreds of thousands of chestnuts, which is the in-app currency. So if you know about Twitch Primes or giving, I forgot what, if you're giving bits to a streamer, this is the exact same thing.
So Bitcoin?
No, bits is a Twitch currency that you use to like tip streamers with so that they get paid.
Okay.
You live in the woods.
I write my little fanfics and I read an occasional story and I watch Critical Role. That is what I do.
We do watch streamers, by the way, sometimes, and she doesn't know this.
I mean, like, do they ever mention it?
Yes.
They mention it?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Pretty much every stream.
I'm not a person.
Of course, he's obsessed with this cam boy, and within the first chapter, he declares he's in love with a gay cam boy.
Stalker.
This is famous last words, right?
Yeah, stalker.
Not quite stalker. We're at parasocial is I think where we're gonna land.
All right, I'm dumb. What's parasocial?
The most extreme cases I would say is where like you believe that the person you're watching is actually your friend. Oh. So it can turn over into stalker situation, but it's a thing now where a lot of people get really upset when like a streamer or a YouTuber or someone else who's online isn't responding to them, talking to them, or like they'll get really upset for this person if something happens to them and that sort of thing.
As someone who's only like heard it in the extremes, because again, this sort of thing would show up in murder.
Sure.
And I know murder. I've only heard the extreme versions. I didn't know that there was like a softer version.
It's not always bad. It can be toxic if you're too caught up in their business as the viewer. It can give you a lot of pressure if you're obviously the person who's presenting this and on the other side of it. But it's not always terrible. Everyone's a little parasocial. We all have some celebrity that like we like a little bit too much, or we like give a shit if they got married or whatever. It's not always 100% terrible. There's degrees. It's a range.
Okay.
So Dong-gyun, I will admit.
Oh, like a people like BTS too much.
That is further, but in the same.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's further down on the range than you really want to be.
I'll stop.
I'm sorry if you're a stan. I hope that you are being cool about it, is all I ask.
Yeah. That's proper etiquette. Just be chill.
Yeah, just don't try to steal anything from them.
Creep in their bedrooms.
Don't lose your mind if your fave quits. Don't write real person fiction of them. Never mind. We're getting too far. Point is, DG, which is how we're going to refer to Donghyun from now on, because I think that's a little easier for both of us. So, Donghyun, DG.
Okay, I got it.
It's also his nickname on the campsite that he uses, so it ties in.
So, like when he chats.
Yes, that's his nickname.
Okay.
Yes. So, DG is an unconfident, closeted gay man, fresh from military service, and almost meeker than he was when he left. He's also super kind, pretty much always has a good attitude, and is a relatable amount of horny. We get some scenes of DG failing at being assertive that pivots to him admiring his son Bae. So he's in the classroom. He immediately gets dogged on by a couple of his juniors. So he should be their superior in this situation. And they more or less bully him into taking over a project, knowing that they're probably going to fuck off because we're freshmen and, we can do whatever. So, hey, senior, can you do this for us? And he is just kind of left holding the bag. And he should be able to say, I'm above you. No, I get to make decisions. And he just immediately caves.
All right, so now what he should do is go light their houses on fire for leaving them with the work.
Too far. I understand the sentiment, but too far. But while he's in class, he then turns to look at his son Bae, who is the class president of their major. That's An Ji-won. Ji-won seems like an everyman. Everyone loves him, girls want to fuck him, and guys want to be him, and other guys also want to fuck him. DG...
He's the murderer.
No, we're not going back.
I'm scarred from killing stalking.
DG also simps for him respectfully, and with good reason, considering just how nice and giving this guy is. So he's, of course, looking at him as, Ji-won is telling everybody, hey, we're going to go for drinks, and it's going to be on me, or I'm going to invite everybody to lunch, and, oh, we've got a problem in student council. No worries. I'm your man. I'll take care of it. Oh, one of my poor sundays needs help with a project. No worries. I'll take care of it. Seems perfect. So, while in the classroom, he gets invited to a welcome back drinking party by Ji-won. This is kind of like a wonderful moment for him because he has seemingly no friends at this point, is too nervous to talk to his sundays, and now he actually gets to go to something. But at the same time, he's deeply nervous because, oh shit, now I have to people. Now I have to interact with people. And so at that drinking party, he gets bullied immediately by an aggressive upperclassman into drinking way too much.
DG does?
Yes. So homeboy is wrecked by the time they're moving to the next location. So his precious, godlike son Bae, Ji-won, offers to bear the burden of getting him home safely. They're able to make it back to DG's apartment safely enough, but upon entering, he vomits all over himself and Ji-won.
Ah, that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, kind of sits up a little bit and then just bleh.
I have been thrown up on. I know what this boy's going through.
Yeah, it's unceremonious, but he's also, mostly passed out, so he doesn't know that he did it. At least he wasn't conscious during it.
Yeah.
Ji-won takes his shirt off to clean it in the bathroom. DG, guts freshly empty, comes to, just as half-naked Ji-won exits the bathroom. And let me just say, Ji-won is no slouch when it comes to his body. He's got all the other kind of perfect trappings of I'm perfect little student council president, and then homeboy works out.
So also the perfect body.
Yeah, there's at least a six-pack there.
All right, I'm full of resentment. I would be full of resentment, and I'd kill him. This feels like I keep thinking I'm waiting for murder.
There's no murder in this one.
All right.
There's other things to get angry about.
Ugh.
But so he comes out, godlike body, on full display, and once DG locks eyes with him, several things happen really quickly. In the middle of absorbing the sight of his son Bae's body into the protected archives of his mind palace.
Oh, did he get a boner?
DG's eyes lock onto a very noticeable and eerily familiar birthmark. And then his gaze flies up to Jiwon's neck, where he just knows there's a mole. And you're wondering, how does he know this? Shocks flow through him as he realizes where he's seen his sunbae before.
Oh, he's the jockey thing.
Porn streaming. Yep.
I can't remember the B word.
BJ. So.
Well, what did it stand for again?
Broadcast jockey.
So he's the broadcast jockey.
Yep. Specifically, G1 is BJ Alex.
Right. Yeah.
DG, reasonably shocked. I'd be shocked too. That's crazy information to learn.
Like you're jacking off to someone that you go to school with?
Yeah. My first thought would be, I've been jacking it to this guy?
Yeah.
Whoa.
At least he lives up to the hype because you said he's hot.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of nice. Like, ooh.
Yeah, and in this case, too, it's DG's first time knowing what Alex's face looks like. Because BJ Alex, like, wears a face mask the whole time, yeah.
Does he do any of that, like, auto filters you'll see on, like, other places? Like, where it'll change your face or, like... Because there are people who use filters that make them look extra hot. No.
So, I will say the time period that this is set in is before those filters got really advanced or advanced enough to do that. So, at this time, it's him, au natural. Only thing that he's using is like a physical face mask to cover his face.
Okay. Because I was thinking maybe that was... I guess I thought that could come into play as to, like, hiding some of these people.
Yeah, at this point, it was 2017, I think I said. So this was... And the comic was obviously being written in 2016. So this predates a lot of that technology getting as perfected as it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. I've seen some crazy tech that have, like... altered people's faces. Like they put makeup on and then they put this filter on and suddenly they have a new face.
Yeah, they were not nearly there yet.
Okay.
Nowhere close.
That's cool.
DG absolutely blurts this out that G1 is BJ Alex.
No.
Which is definitely not the move.
So he's the victim. He's going to be killed.
Nobody's dying.
Okay.
But also, he's still terribly shit-faced and rapidly sobering up. But when G1 denies the accusation, homie just doesn't shut up.
Shut up.
He keeps pressing.
No.
He keeps pressing by dropping personal info about Alex until he's forced to stop by a nice shove into the wall and a cute little menacing shut up.
No, this is a murder. This is his grave.
It should be some level of social suicide and that it's not as crazy. But, like, Ji-won full-on grabs him by the chin and, like, shoves him into the wall. And I think he was just going for any part of his body that he could reasonably grab with one hand and shove.
I mean, I can't take being embarrassed. This is also why I'm, like, freaking out. And I'm embarrassed for this person.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, just put your mouth in the close motion. Just shush.
Yeah,
gosh.
But shoves against the wall. And let's be absolutely clear. DG is in the wrong here, and it's creepy. He deserves to get shoved. You don't tell a sex worker that you know them unless they fucking told you. You don't do it.
And if you do it once, you pretend you had a weird sneeze.
Personally, someone I know accidentally showed me their sex work page, and I have pretended I've never seen it. I've never brought it up. I've never gone deeper into looking at it. I'm done.
Well, I have a series of questions that I know you won't answer, but I'm going to ask them later.
We'll see. The answer is we'll see. But you just don't do it. I don't care what the circumstances are. Do not out them. If they're trying to keep their privacy, don't out them.
Yeah.
So DG doing this,
it's
girl.
It's kind of like accidentally outing someone. Like if you saw someone at the gay club, but they're not telling nobody, don't say shit, you know?
Like you can talk to them if you want to, but don't. Go further.
Not in a group of people.
And I would encourage you not to talk to them. Let them have their gay time.
Yeah.
Ji-won is reasonably pissed and does a full 180 from picture perfect sunbae to something else.
Schoolyard bully.
He's not disarmingly sexy like his Alex persona, but he's also not perfect sunbae anymore. He does kick a table and start smoking inside though, like a jackass.
So he's like a gangster. He's
Almost.
A gangster cam boy.
Honor student.
Wow.
Gangster cam
yeah,
boy.
Sell my body and I make straight A's. What of it?
a little bit like that.
Oh no. I guess you'd have to be intimidating though. Like I bet he has creepy fans.
Nope. DG is the worst one.
No!
Because he has a mask.
DG.
No one knows who he is. So they say weird shit to him, but it doesn't matter because they're just online. They're like not real people to him.
Oh no, DG,
Yeah.
you're the first.
Yeah.
Oh no, that sucks.
Yeah. Shoved him against the wall, kicked his table, smoking inside. DG, the truest of simps, manages to get Ji-won to recognize who he is from stream.
How? Like on purpose?
Yeah, he
Why? Let it go, DG.
I know.
Don't. You're gonna get banned, and you won't get your porn.
But yeah, so he tells Ji-won, like, hey, do you remember me?
No.
I'm DG blah 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 from stream.
It's like he's talking to a celebrity.
Yeah.
Dude.
This is like his Idris Elba.
But that's so uncomfortable.
This is how you are obsessed with Sean Astin. This is his Sean Astin.
We don't speak about Sean. Sean can't know I love him.
Right, but DG is, I would say, too naive to feel shade, if that makes sense.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's naive or just, I'm gonna be mean, if it's just plain stupidity.
Well,
feel some shame. Shut your mouth.
He gets Ji-won to recognize him, and Ji-won's like, oh yeah, okay, you're the guy who gave me an unreasonable amount of money recently. But DG doesn't get the reaction he wants, however, and is called a stalker in the same breath that he's thanked for his patronage. At this point...
I want to hear how that sentence goes. I'd love to hear that sentence. That sounds so funny to me. That's like, you want to be a fly on the wall in this like weird thing happening.
Yeah, and we are, technically.
Oh yeah.
Ji-won wants nothing more to do with him at this point. At school, online, in the streets, and he emphasizes this with plenty of threats and a menacing aura.
This is why you don't out it. Now you lost access to your favorite sex worker. He's gonna ban you.
Ultimately, things are not going well, and there's likely no way to snatch a win from the jaws of defeat. Except with Horny. Maybe. Yeah, Horny. So...
Pause. My brain's catching up. I'm floundering. Give me a second. Is DG gonna seduce his way out of this?
He doesn't have the capability to do that. I'll be honest.
Oh, but BJ Alex is just a horny man.
You're getting there.
Don't fuck your fan. This gets so many people in trouble online. Don't fuck a fan. At least they're like same age.
They're like 22 and 24 or something like that.
Yeah, that's same age. Like that's fine. But I'm just like, I feel like it's the unwritten online rules. Don't fuck a fan.
Yeah, well,
it should be.
It should be, but DG begs for one thing in exchange for disappearing forever from Ji-won's life.
So he instigates this. No.
He asks for a hug.
Oh, that's innocent enough. Does he think it? Does the other guy think he means sex?
No, he thinks he means hug. He clarifies. He's like, "Are you serious, DG? You just want a hug?" Yeah, that'd be really important to me. Can I just have a hug?
Just let this drunk boy go. Just tell him not to do it again and just send him on his way.
So Ji-won relents and gives him a good old full body hug. Arms wrapped around shoulders, full frontal touching from chest to crotch. Cue DG's inconvenient boner.
DG, I felt it coming in my bones and I wasn't ready.
Cue Ji-won's return boner.
What the fuck, dude?
Cue fucking?
Is he that easy? Oh, that was me, wasn't it? Let me put it nicer. Is this asshole a slut?
Yeah.
What a bitch.
What do you think?
You can't look at my stream again, but I guess we can fuck.
Yeah. Specifically, the way that Ji-won goes about it is they both get horny. And then his excuse for escalating this further is, if you want to make a wish, make it a big one. Don't cop out at just a hug. We should smash.
This is a boy's love, but
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He's so dumb.
This feels like a frat boy streamer.
Oh, a little bit. If he wasn't so good about other stuff and so good at school, you'd be like, are you Kappa Alpha something or other? Like, what's your deal?
You got your backwards hat.
So you think they're gonna bone? Not quite. They manage to get naked before Ji-won finds out that her poor protag is a huge virgin, and their power levels are just too different to continue.
You couldn't tell from the get-go that this guy was a huge virgin.
The thoughts that go through Ji-won's head on a lot of this comic is, no way! He can be! Look at his face! Look at his body! How has nobody been in that yet?
Oh, so DG's hot too.
He's like, he's more idol boy hot, like young idol boy. He'd be the cutesy one. I got it. He's the Jimin from BTS. I know you don't remember what he looks like, and that's fine. But very much more like...
You're talking to me like I know any musician. You can name a musician now, and I wouldn't know who they are.
Well, he has like that kind of soft look. I'm the innocent one out of the like boy group kind of thing. Because every boy group has like one innocent looking one. That's what DG looks like.
Okay.
So still has like rockin' body kind of thing, but it's just very kind of sweet in the face. But yeah, so they don't get to continue the boning before they can really like hash it out more than that. Ji-won receives a call from another student council member, puts his clothes back on, and prepares to leave. Except DG looks so goddamn dejected, like a stray puppy in an animal welfare commercial. And again, Ji-won, with his endless levels of copium, says big wishes are a thing. So Ji-won jerks him off as a favor before disappearing into the night. So you start out the day being bullied by your underclassmen, being bullied by an upperclassman, drinking too much, puking on the hottest boy you've ever seen, who happens to be your student council president, and then he jerks you off at the end of the night. He's also your porn streamer crush. Like, there's so much happening in one 24-hour period, it's insane.
Yeah, I'm absorbing it all. My mouth is just hanging open, and I'm squinting in the distance, dissociating right now. This is too much. I would cease to function. Gotta go to a new school. Gotta change my name. I'm done. Oh my gosh. DG. Also, get away from this dangerous cam boy. Like, slut-shaming jokes aside. Seriously, get away from him. This man wants to suck your soul out. He's too willing. I don't know. He's just too willing. This is going to be a problem.
It's how you feel for a lot of the comic is, girl, just go.
Girl, just leave.
You can just go. The next day is simultaneously the best and worst day ever. One, he did get jerked off for the first time by another person that happened to be his camboy crush. And two, he will now ignore you to the ends of the earth, even though you're in the same major. Shit sucks.
And he's the upperclassman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't he have to help him with school with stuff?
So, Ji-won would normally, but now that all of this hullabaloo has happened, DG's on the no-fly list. Forever abandoned.
So he won't even help him as like a fellow classmate?
No.
Because don't you have to help people out in the same programs in Korea? Isn't that a thing?
It's encouraged socially, but obviously you can always have like an upperclassman who just tells you to go fuck yourself.
Oof.
It's no different than when we went to school. You had older kids who are supposed to be helping, and they're just like, fuck it, I'm taking this class for extra credit, and then didn't do anything.
I'm going to humble brag. All my upperclassmen rocked, but I was in a very small watercolor program.
Yeah, not everyone else's life is like that, for sure.
Yeah.
Getting ignored at school. No one's favorite thing.
Yeah.
DG's not super pleased about it. It sucks. Ji-won basically doesn't look at him like he's a person anymore. But it's also day one, and maybe they'll get easier. But DG also works after school. He has a part-time job, of course. He's a young adult. Mm-hmm. He needs some income. Works at a coffee shop that happens to be, unfortunately, next to campus. So convenient for DG to get back and forth to school and work.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, then Ji-won and the rest of the student council comes by.
Do they come for coffee often?
They haven't before.
Oh.
This is their first. So first day after huge fuck up, they decide, oh, this coffee place is right here. I had no idea, brah. Let's go, brah.
This sucks. I'm honestly embarrassed for both of them. Because why I don't think BJ Alex should be like fucking his fan. I feel like all of this is embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I told my crush, who's also a sex worker, that I'm stalking them online. Not stalking, whatever. I told him all that shit. And then the other guy's like, cool, great, thanks. That's uncomfortable. I guess I'm gonna touch your pee-pee. It's all.
I will say at this point, DG hasn't said, I have a crush on you. He was just super excited. Like,
he just fanned on him.
He became a fanboy in that moment.
I'm sorry, I took that as he also was like, I have a crush on you. And please stop talking.
He does kind of have like a weird crush, but even he's like, it's a stranger, and so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay.
So the bullying upperclassman before, the same one that made DG drink too goddamn much, he's here again, front and center. He's part of student council, and everyone around him seems somewhere on the scale between tolerating him and outwardly hating him.
So he's a problem.
Yes, little Mr. Bully, his name is Kang Hun. He will make several appearances and cause multiple problems throughout the rest of this.
So is he like the antagonist?
The antagonist really is Trauma, but the like supplementary henchman antagonist is Kang Hun. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Trauma is going to be the antagonist, a bully makes sense as a henchman.
Absolutely. So he's causing problems immediately at the coffee shop because he's like, oh, that's that same underclassman that I spoke to. And he didn't greet me today in the hallway. And like, how dare he not do that when I'm a Sunbae and I'm important? Who bays? Greet Sunbaes. They have to. And so he's starting mess with DG at his fucking job.
Like at his job, okay.
Yeah, in front of his like boss and his other coworker and stuff.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, dude sucks.
Yeah, but also like, boss do something, or are they also like a student?
She was about to actually step in. I think she went to the back at the time because it's a very small coffee shop. It's owned by her. So if she's not there, it's just the two students working and vice versa. They kind of rotate around. But Ji-won steps up and helps de-escalate Kang Hun by interrupting him to order and offering to pay, which of course makes him look endearing and well-adjusted and ever so kind, and is doing DG no favors as far as getting over him and putting their situation to rest. Ji-won is perfectly ignoring DG, but one obstacle still remains. The t-shirt that Ji-won had to borrow to go home the night before. You can never truly escape the jaws of politeness in some cultures. He's gonna have to give that t-shirt back.
DG wants to give it back, or he's being asked to give it back?
Ji-won borrowed the shirt, and he's like, I have to give the t-shirt back. It doesn't belong to me. It's also ugly.
Oh, the other one borrowed the shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought he took DG to his house.
No, he took him back to his own place. Yeah.
DG is not working for me, by the way. I keep trying to say DJ, so that's going to slip out a few times.
Fine. He's the DJ of his own destiny. But yeah, so Ji-won can't just say, hey, I have your shirt, and I'm going to throw it in the trash. He has to be polite. DG also did ask, like, hey, could I have it back? Like, that's all I want from you. And he's like, oh, fuck yeah. Nope, I gotta be polite. I guess I gotta do it. We kind of pause at that point. We jump over to Ji-won's point of view for a bit to better explain why he, porn streaming god, hyper-experienced deity of sex, and totally normal, fully well-adjusted student council president, ended up trying to fuck a dorky underclassman that discovered his identity.
All that stuff about him being well-adjusted, I'm calling it now. No, he ain't. We'll see. That's the little mouth click that I'm right.
Truth is, he doesn't know. And it bothers him. He has no idea why he tried to fuck DG.
Was he drunk a little? Or sober?
He was sober. Because he doesn't drink.
Oh.
So anytime you see him in a situation where other people are drinking, he is staying sober. That's important for later, for sure.
Yeah.
So all he truly wants to do is give this little dweeb his shirt back and wash his hands of him. Which inconveniently can't happen until DG gets back from visiting his folks for the weekend. So Ji-won is stuck for at least another 2 days with this fucking shirt cleaned and ready to go, and he can't do anything about it.
Well, I mean, no reason to make a big deal out of it. DG's not there, so DG can't cause him issues.
Oh, but the mind is a terrible thing. So Ji-won, a man wronged by this horrible inconvenience, still has a job to do. So he gussies up and jumps on stream and right into his element. Homeboy loves the attention, and like the stream is going fine until it's time for the jerking off portion. Because he always does like story time, greets people, and then inevitably ends up like jerking off on camera, right? I mean, it's a porn stream, you gotta do something. That's fair.
Okay. So that's his whole gig. It's like, look at my sexy body and watch me come.
Yeah.
That feels like a very short show.
He stretches it out because his story times are normally pretty in-depth. Normally he's talking about times that he's had sex with somebody and how crazy it gets, or like, oh, you wouldn't believe he plowed me like this, or blah blah. So gets to the jerkin portion, and he can't keep it up no matter what kind of porn he's peeping off screen or what's coming to mind. He's trying to fantasize. He's going through different porn to like jack off to. Nothing seems to engage his Johnson, and he's panicking and trying not to appear panicked at the same time.
Is it his conscience? His conscience was like, you were too mean to that boy.
Oh, that would show development and progress on his part. No.
It's too soon.
His viewers are beginning to notice, so he has to think quick and conjure up anything that can bring his little G1 to attention. It's DG. Like, obviously. I know what I'm reading. It's DG. He thinks about him, and he comes hard as fuck.
I wash my hands of this. See, this is why you just have to tell me things you read. I would have put my head down and just, like, died.
Afterwards, post-nut clarity hits him hard and comes with a wave of incredulity and anger. And, of course...
Anger at who?
At himself, at DG, at the situation. How dare I come to this pathetic man?
Lord.
Yeah.
Lord baby Jesus.
And, of course, he vows to never jack it to DG again.
That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, it never works. Because there's something about our stupid monkey brains that refuses to stop getting horny about something until we work it out of our systems. The horny center of our brains is really just a bratty teenager that's going to do exactly the opposite of whatever we say. And this is no different.
Is there a reason why he's, like, doing this to DG? Like, is it just simply he started to crush on him?
Like G1? Starting to crush on somebody?
No. Is that not it?
No. A crush? He's a grown man. And truthfully, at this point, he knows nothing about DG. He really just seems to be really horny about it. You're squinting again.
I just need someone to rub my temples. I don't understand.
So after he makes this vow of, oh, never again, cue several more streams of him masturbating to DG out of sheer necessity. A whole long weekend to suffer and simmer over an escalating dilemma. How will G1 get himself out of a rut without risking his personal safety or, more importantly, his pride? Because the easy thing would be just continue jacking off to DG, but he refuses to.
That would be the easy. No one has to know. Like, I cannot jerk off to people. I tell you, when I get embarrassed really hard. So the thought of jerking off to someone without them knowing makes me so embarrassed. I have to ask my wife permission to jerk off to her. It's just that embarrassing.
In this case, he has no qualms about that. He's just mad. How is it DG?
Just quietly jerk off. You don't suffer like I do. Just jerk off to this person. Gosh.
Ultimately, he's having a piss baby meltdown. Yeah, it sucks. But it's also the most first world problem he could have. And. You can't even see his dick, by the way. On his streams, you can't see his dick. Because Korea prohibits depictions of uncensored genitals, which is why there are lightsabers and white voids in most manhwa released up until recently. And this includes cam boys and cam girls, so he could reasonably fake masturbating. This is a non-problem.
Okay, so like, what is the audience even seeing?
So you can show your entire body except for the genitals. So what he does is he has a tiny censor window that he like maneuvers over to where his dick would be seen on camera. And so he could literally just put his hand behind that censor window and just move it up and down aggressively. They're not going to see anything.
Can they see his jizz?
No! Unless it comes up over the censor window, they can't see anything.
Oh, man. Like, I didn't think, like, censorship, for whatever reason, would be a part of the story.
Yeah.
So that is also boggling my mind. Just fake it, you loser.
That's my fucking thing! He can just pretend that he's going out and be like, oh, wow, that was a hard come, and move on.
I mean, like, yeah. He could jerk off, like, if he needs his hands to get wet, he could, like, cover a lube bottle in lube, jerk that off, and, like, ooh, look at my sticky hands. I'm so fucked up, like that anime.
I know. So, ultimately, please don't forget that these are dumb, horny college students.
They're very young.
They're not firing all cylinders yet. They're doing their best. Once DG is back in town, he's made privy to two things. BJ Alex is taking a 1-week hiatus for personal reasons. Bullshit, basically. And that he has a new text from his favorite sunbae demanding that they meet up at a cafe to do the shirt return.
Okay, is DG also still banned from the streams?
That's the other thing that G1 never does. He doesn't ban him from the streams. Mm-hmm. He just says, you can't come here anymore. But he doesn't go out of his way to ban him, which also makes me insane.
Does DG even check if he's banned, or does he just not go?
He didn't go over the weekend because he's visiting his folks. And so we're clear, again, like, DG is closeted, so his parents don't know. So he's, like, once you've moved out, it can be hard to jack it at your parents' house. So he didn't do that. Yeah, so he just skipped 2.
I mean, like, yeah, you know, I don't know, just the whole thing. That's fine. But, like, okay, so his parents also don't know he's gay.
Yeah, so he skipped the 2 streams and didn't come. But, again...
But he never got banned anyways.
No, he just should have banned him. But to be fair, maybe they can't ban people like your regular dudes streaming now. Maybe that was, like, just part of the program. You couldn't do that. But that would have been my first thought, is just to ban him, but whatever. Come Monday, DG shows up at the cafe that he works at because, again, close to campus, easy meeting place, works out. He shows up dressed fairly nicely and on his day off, giving his bestie and coworker, Chan-woo, and his boss something to gossip about. Because he's a friendless version with no game, but he's obviously meeting up with somebody. Shit's juicy.
So even, like, his coworkers know he's kind of got no game.
Yeah, he's pretty shy, and his bestie Chan-woo is also gay, but out. And they've talked at length about gay shit. Stuff. Yeah. And Chan-woo just knows, like, bless your little heart, you have no game.
Yeah, and then also being closeted, shit, that, like, kills the game at times.
Truthfully, yeah.
Like, God, is that a rough conversation to have with people? Yeah, I'm interested, but I'm in the closet. You cool?
Exactly. So G1 appears, and it's like the sun arrived in the cafe. His beauty and charm is blinding, even from afar. Mostly because he hasn't opened his mouth yet, but I digress. He orders and asks to be served with DG, which only fuels the hot goss going on behind the counter. He unceremoniously hands his shirt back, professing that he washed it, and immediately proclaims that he's leaving. So before the drinks even get served, ordered, nah, I gotta go. I dropped my shirt. Fuck you and the horse you rode it on.
Dang.
DG asked him to wait for business reasons. Specifically, he asks why he's taking a hiatus after never having done that before. It's definitely none of DG's business, and G1 asserts that too, but he does explain that he's hit a slump.
Don't.
Right.
Leave.
Like, you see how...
But I mean, like, I can already tell that these are the boys we want together, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But my brain is just like, me, who wants to be out of a cringy situation right away, is like, please, leave.
So you see how DG is doing some things that it's like, that's too far, that's... You're going up, you're sliding up the scale of Parasocial into, like, weird territory, but then this motherfucker's like...
But the other...
I mean, you asked.
The guy's inviting it, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. But it's kind of like that whole, like, it's like how some people, when the secret's out, they suddenly just want to start talking to you about it.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Chan-woo interrupts them at that point with their drink order and a free honey toast from the owner. He's a real one and gives DG encouragement for his obvious maybe sorta date.
Oh, nice.
Despite the interruption and delivery being the perfect opportunity to leave, G1 stays and continues to hear DG out. Our sweet protag is earnestly concerned about his favorite BJ and offers his assistance if there's anything he can do.
You can't say his favorite BJ. You can't call him that.
That's what he is.
I don't care. Like,
English is a hell of a language.
Oh, God.
So he's encouraging him and offering out his services. All of this while he's shoving whipped cream covered honey toast in his mouth. Jiwon's horny brain singles in on a stray bit of cream to the left of DG's mouth and stays locked on as he rubs it off with his thumb and licks it. Jiwon's dick enters the chat.
Jiwon, okay, this is getting funny again. I was in cringe zone, but now it's just funny again.
DG sees him off to his car that evening, politely hoping he's safe getting home, but Jiwon is stuck in a cage made entirely of frustration and lust. He's still hung up on DG and how he looks like that. He can barely drive. And then it hits him. An idea that can save his streaming career, as long as he gets a little help.
Suck me off under the table.
Too easy. We gotta go deeper.
Oh, no. I was kidding. He's not really gonna sneak him under a table, right?
No.
Okay.
Cut to another day that week, and DG is thrilled to have been contacted by a sunbae again, and this time invited out to a fancy Chinese restaurant. He's taken to a private room where Jiwon is already waiting. Jiwon already has an order queued up and adds on liquor for DG specifically. And then comes the sweet-faced manipulation. Jiwon begins to explain that the slump is a result of a lack of sex. His channel is primarily story-based, and he's plumb run out of material. And he can't just fuck anybody. What if they discover who he is? Just like a certain dorky someone. Which is why he needs DG's help. He needs to fuck DG.
I've taken off my glasses. My eyes are closed. I have aged 50 years. The youth are too young. I'm too old. This is too much. Leave me here. God.
DG, to his credit, asks what happens if he says no.
Please say no, DG.
Jiwon internally freaks out for a second.
This is a honey trap.
Jiwon internally freaks out for a second, but gains control of the situation, reminding DG that he'd be the only one of his fans to ever touch tips with him. It's kind of like one streamer gets the opportunity to fuck me in my apartment.
Is he gonna have DG be in the fucking? Is that something that they could censor and show?
So we're clear. Some other porn streamers do couples work. We actually meet a character later that does couples work. However, that's not what he wants, because he, like a lot of K-pop folks, can't have a partner. Because part of the allure is that he's like always your sexy boyfriend, and like there's that parasocial thing of like, oh, BJ Alex is who you'd want to date. So if he's actually dating somebody,
BJ's line of work,
specifically BJ Alex, not for everybody.
Okay, so specifically BJ can't have like, oh, because he's fantasy boyfriend.
Yes.
It's like that. Okay, I've been seeing trends of that, like where people are like, I'm your boyfriend or your girlfriend and I'm tucking you in at night, stuff like that. Yeah,
so we're clear. I have been in a Korean porn streaming site before. They do have couple stuff where it's obviously like a boyfriend and girlfriend doing whatever, or like a dom and a sub or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's not that deep with everybody, but specifically the image that he has crafted is one of, I'm like your hot boyfriend and I'm here to take care of you.
And here's what I'm doing to you. I know what, okay. I got it. That's his theme.
So people know that he's had sex with other folks before, but they don't want to see it.
Yeah.
They want to hear how experienced you are, but when when he's streaming, he's there for them.
Okay.
Yeah. He also suggests to DG, I could just find someone else to fulfill my needs. But that's 10 seconds after he said he couldn't trust anyone else. So DG doesn't catch that at all.
These boys, y'all, you can tell how young they are. This is some horny nonsense shit.
Right. And then what about the virgin situation? It's certainly not favorable, but as long as DG adheres to a specific code of conduct, he's willing to overlook it.
Wait, okay. Is he not even offering to take his virginity?
Oh, he's going to, but DG has to agree to several things.
Okay.
So he has to agree it's just sex, no relationship, no getting attached, no situationship, just sex partners and nothing more.
This is stuff DG can't do. He can't. He's too innocent.
And if DG falls in love with him and has a weird feeling about it, they cut off, we're done. As the cherry on top of this manipulation sundae,
this ain't gonna work.
If DG agrees to this, he'll take a shot of liquor. So that's how he's going to sign on the dotted line is to take a shot of liquor at this Chinese restaurant.
DG or
DG.
both of them?
Just DG. Again, G1 doesn't drink.
Why does he want him to drink liquor then? Why does he want DG to drink then? To loosen him up?
God if I know.
It's just this weird...
Dude's just out here manipulating.
In these 3 episodes we've done, why does it always start with a douche male lead? They're all douches.
Well, one was a murderer. The last one was kind of an asshole for a little bit. And then G1's G1.
You have a type.
Or does Korean mom as a whole have a type?
You have a type. You have a type. I'm judging you.
Donghyun skips the shot and downs the whole bottle.
No! What?
Specifically,
what's the point of that?
Because in his brain, he's like, anyone would be crazy to turn down an opportunity like this, and just goes gung-ho. He truly is the Lord and Savior of all simps. I'm so sorry. You look exhausted.
I'm old. I'm just too old! My shaking it days are over. I am a married queer. I have no cats yet, but I will. And I live in this house with my beautiful wife. All of this. No, I'm serious. Like, this kind of reminds me when any of our queer friends is going through it with someone who's gonna be their new boo. And I mean, it's just so familiar. I outgrew this. I outgrew these days.
It's so messy, right?
It's so messy. It was messy back then. It's messy now. God.
Yeah.
I outgrew these days. I've seen my wars. I've done. I'm tired.
So from there, DG blacks out and then wakes up in a motel room where Ji-won is currently showering. It's obvious what they're there to do, and this is the point where their sexual relationship actually begins. So we're clear, DG was the one that was like, obviously, we should go fuck now. If we've agreed to this, let's do it now.
He downed a bottle and was just like, let's go.
To be fair, by the time that he comes to, he is sobering up. So it's not immediately like, let's have drunk sex while you're doing whatever. But
I just want to, like, this boy.
But their first time is, like, uncomfortable, but not terrible. Ji-won is a jerk at the beginning, because he just kind of thinks, oh, well, we can just get this done. And it's like, dude, virgin.
Oh.
You can't rush. So he tries to rush. DG kicks him in the stomach.
Good for you, DG.
Like, a full reflex sends him flying across the bed.
Good. Fuck him.
He deserves it.
Fuck him.
He absolutely deserves it.
Take it slow on the first time, fellas and ladies.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So he deserves it. They go easier after that. But this sexual encounter also serves as the first glimpse into Ji-won's psyche and why DG's earnestness and naivety is so important to the story at large.
Any clues as to what that meant?
We'll get into it a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, because I know I have to wait for this damn recording to be over to learn the truth.
So, quick break to talk a bit about the other major players. The side characters serve a huge purpose with how things develop, and most of them have their own conflicts and opportunities for growth. Chanwoo is DG's best friend, and the only gay friend he has, and really one of the only friends he has. He's one of 3 people that know DG's orientation, the other 2 being his boss and Ji-won. He's the ultimate horny wingman, and I'd say he's like if a Coomer was capable and friendly.
Alright. Coomer?
Yeah, you just learned this one the other day. Like, people are too horny online and they're only, like, focused on sex. Yeah.
Coomer.
Like too far. They're the people who are showing up into female streamers' chats and being like, oh, nudes, feet, can I see your feet? Like, Chanwoo kind of has that energy, but not to creep levels. He's just horny all the time. He's that
horny.
But he's also going to be the first one to be like, you see the ass on that guy?
Oh, so,
yeah.
Yes, okay. So
we all know somebody
We all
like
know
this.
someone like that. I like the word Coomer. I do remember that I learned it on Game Grumps, but I can't retain.
But he's openly gay and proud of it. He sleeps and dates around pretty consistently until he meets his special someone. He's extremely supportive and he's excited for DG at every step of, his relationship and his, personal growth. And he regularly gives really good practical advice as a more experienced gay person and is a more outgoing friend. He's also suspicious of Ji-won's behavior from the jump.
Good. Love you, Chanwoo. You're smart.
Yeah, he regularly will tell DG like, "Oh yeah, here's some advice about the relationship that you're in," and then be like, "Wait a fucking minute. I don't know if I feel good about this. Not my child.
Good.
Not my gay baby."
Honestly, I feel like every young queer person needs someone to kind of just like look out for them as they're getting into it. I mean, there's plenty of times when you just like you go out in the universe and you're all new, but like man, if you got that older experienced friend, just take their advice at times.
And like in this case, they're the same age. They're in this. They both went to military service at the same time and stuff too. But it's just the experiences that Chan had like make him kind of mentally older in this like kind of arena.
Yeah, because since he's out,
yeah.
Has he been out a long time too?
I think it mentions that he'd been out at least since like 18. Because I believe his parents also know. So like he's out.
Well, even still, like when you're out, that's just a whole different level from being in the closet. It's a good person to listen to.
Yeah. And so when things get dodgy in the comic, Chanwoo regularly goes to bat for him as well. He's also the person who brings a Sex and the City reference into this.
I love
because,
that.
Sure, he serves so much cunt sometimes for no reason, and he hates dudes with small pee-pee. So at one point he says that he's looking for his Mr. Big, which is a thing that Carrie says in that, and like there's a character called Mr. Big. He's looking for his Mr. Big. He has a very specific type that he wants. He wants like a guy younger than him, good build, willing to do XYZ. Like it's very much that I need a guy 6'5", blue eyes, in finance kind of thing. That's kind of what he's looking for. Is almost a little bit of a pipe dream.
Just it does sound a little like a pipe dream, a little bit.
Yeah,
because he's not that old. So looking for someone younger than him that's hung, that's a little backwards.
I know, but I knew multiple people like this who was like, "Girl, you're 20. What are you going for?"
Like that don't work for development. Like.
Some of these people aren't done cooking yet. And you're 20 years old and you're not done cooking.
20 years old, you're not done cooking. Yeah. That's why I'm like, dude, that's not going to work.
I know. Another character that we come across is BJMD. His full name is Kim Young Dae, but we'll call him MD because that's, again, going to keep it simple.
There's two. No, I'm lost. There's so many
damn
abbreviations. BJ, MD, DG, too much. Did I get them right? I don't even know.
You got them right.
Oh, good. Fuck.
So, MD, Young Dae, is an older BDSM streamer who knows Alex professionally and personally. He also ends up becoming Chanwoo's Mr. Big in the last, and he makes up the last part of my favorite couple because you slog through this at the beginning. So having Chanwoo and Mung Dae kind of run around and be doing more wholesome things somehow is like a salve to your heart. You're like, thank God these two are just doing regular stuff.
Didn't you say the other one is into BDSM?
Chanwoo, yes.
Okay, but...
So they both are. So Chanwoo and MD are both into BDSM.
So even though they're into BDSM, they're still more wholesome?
Yeah.
Like that is... I can't even tell you how true that is. I know some people who do BDSM, like for serious, and I swear to God, they're the most put together, sweetest people on the face of the earth. And then like, you go into the wrong drawer and it's like, whoa.
Pretty much. Well, in this case, MD is a bit of a manipulator, but like he manipulates for funsies and like positively. He fucks with Ji-won for shits and giggles, but he's also actually a trustworthy colleague because he knows BG Alex and his Ji-won situation and obviously isn't like letting that or telling anybody. MD is a huge catalyst for things moving along, entirely due to his trollless nature. He loves to cause problems and always seems to know exactly what's going on to help him cause the most problems. But he's also genuinely a straightforward person. It's just no one wants to be told to fuck off with a smile on their face. Because he has been through several subs. Because for his setup, since he's doing BDSM...
So he's got the partner.
He has a partner. So, and they still have to, like, obviously censor pee-pee and asshole or whatever. But he's still, obviously, the dom to his subs.
Yeah, I wonder how you would show that censoring. Like,
well, so you only have to censor genitals, so you can see the rest of it. So,
but like let's say he spanks him with a paddle.
Yeah,
they can show that.
Yes, you can show that. You can't show his hole.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot you can get away with, but that's why Ji-won's particular issue is stupid. I could understand if it was something else. You know what I mean?
Can you show, like, sex toys?
Yeah.
So he could put a sex toy in his sub's mouth and show that.
Yes. He can even show... You could see probably the end of the sex toy hanging out of his ass even. So you really know
as long as you just block.
Or if you're...
So it's kind of like how mom was censored anyways.
Exactly how they're censored is how you have to censor them. So you could even show someone from the side with a toy in their ass. You just can't see the hole.
Got it.
So no hole, no pee-pee, no vajiji. Otherwise...
Poo-poo ban.
Otherwise, everything else is like free game. Oh, but there is a point where he fires one of his subs because MD's little thing is like he, by happenstance, meets DG and Chanwoo at their job, and he is smitten for Chanwoo. Like immediately is like, oh, he'd be the perfect sub, and does this whole weird like fucks around with Jiwon and to a milder degree DG. Just so he can get close to Chanwoo, and then is like, I've been watching you for a while, and I'd really like you to be my sub. And Chanwoo's like, wait a second, like on camera and stuff? And he's like, yeah. Fuck yeah, dude, let's do it.
Oh, so Chanwoo is a sub too.
Like, yeah, they match each other's freak 100%, and it's very sweet.
Well, that's nice, because, like, I can already tell, like, this has, like, some flavors that I just wouldn't enjoy. Mm-hmm. So having this, like, silly little BDSM couple would be great to break me up.
And truthfully, while the comic is going, you do get several like extra chapters that'll just be focused on them or focus on something else. So
that's nice. Cause like again, I got burnt out on yaois. I realized yaois existed, and I read way too many too fast. So I'm burnt out on the mean seme. I'm just burnt out on it. Even if there's a good reason later, I'm tired.
Yeah, in this case, MD is mean on purpose because that's part of the thing. Yeah.
Right. But, like, what I mean is, like, I can tell I don't like BJ.
Yeah.
Because, like, just from everything you said to me, I'm like, oh, no, another mean seme.
Yeah. I love Chenwoo and MD. They're great. There's a point where MD is like, I went too far and I did the BDSM too hard. And Chenwoo's like, you didn't go far enough. You could have been treating me like that the whole time. Let's go, motherfucker.
Or did they not establish safe words?
So they did, but MD knows that Chanwoo is brand new to BDSM.
Oh, so he thought he went too hard on a newbie.
Yeah, he was trying to go simple and easy, and Chanwoo was like, no, fuck me up, dude. Let's go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
And
well, I'm glad they discussed the whole password thing or like street light rules.
No, like legitimately, MD has them sign a contract.
Cool.
So they have a contract, one, because he's streaming this, and they're going to be, viewed. Like, they have their faces covered and whatever, but he's still like, obviously I'm asking you to put your whole bussy and caboodle on the internet. Yeah, so, yeah. No, they're really good about it. I will say, you definitely think they're a couple way before they are. They don't actually become a couple until the side stories at the end. But
they get along great.
Yeah, they're super professional with each other, and they enjoy each other's company outside of work, too.
Yeah, that's great. I do love it. I do love a comic. If you're going to give me a shitty, angry seme, give me a side couple that I can look at and be like, oh, thank you for being normal, while the seme gets fixed. Because I'm sure that's going to happen.
Yes, they're very supportive to the main couple on both sides, and they respect people's privacy, and they have safe sex. They're just so needed as you trek through all this tomfoolishness.
Because, again, you did say trauma, so I'm sure that, that's going to show its ugly head.
Yeah. The cafe boss, she shows up a handful of times more than just being at the cafe. She's a peach. She doesn't get a name, but she's present enough that you remember her. And I low-key love her in honor of my college self, because she's so good to her employees. If they need time off, if they, need support, she is very kind about teaching them stuff.
She's like the boss you would have wanted.
Yes, she's exactly what I've wanted. Like, she wants to be serious, but she doesn't push too hard kind of thing. And it's cool because she knows that she's got these 2 gay kids working for her and fully respects them in that way. They talk men and stuff like that. And at one point, she gives, really good advice to DG about love and men and how to navigate that and stuff, too. So
that's really nice.
She's a sweetheart.
She's an ally. I like that.
Yeah, she's, it's nice to see her, too. She's, a little breath of fresh air as well.
Cool.
And then there's King Hun.
Oh, the bully.
Yeah, who's unfortunately named and is relevant to this. He's the background villain of the story, like I said earlier. He's a terrible Sunday upperclassman and generally a shitty person. No one likes him, and he causes problems for legitimately everyone he meets. He's rude, loud, obnoxious, thinks he's hot, needlessly jealous, and a bully. If something is finally going well, this motherfucker shows up to stroke his ego and cause problems. But despite how much he sucks, I appreciate his inclusion in the story since he serves as a catalyst for helping unravel some of the deep-seated traumas and strengthens some of the theming, like, for the comic overall.
Isn't he like on a student council?
Yeah, he's in Stuco.
Isn't that illegal? Like to be like a bully in student council? Because like remember middle school, you could not be a jerk if you were on student council.
So I will say yes and no. So he is on Stuco. I don't know how they choose people to be on Stuco in Korea. I'm assuming it has something to do partially with grades and partially with service or something like that. It may be really similar to how we choose, but they're also in college. And so I think there might also be a level of volunteering for it because do you have the time to do it? Maybe part of it, right? So we don't know how he got there. I will say, however, bullying is considered a crime in Korea.
Awesome, because I just feel like someone should report his ass and get him kicked off student council. That's all I'm saying.
I full on agree. Someone should report his ass since it's a crime.
You're just giving me a look. When you give me a look, I've stumbled upon something, but I'm not going to know what it is. That sucks. Tell me what you know.
I really do appreciate, though, that Minghua crafts stories with a major interpersonal conflict, but either sprinkles in side issues or has a longer ongoing conflict that is bigger than the main characters. Like, sure, the relationship drama is enough to write about, but I love an author that world builds their romance stories, that has, more things going on.
Right, like, that's honestly what I want from my stories, and, like, why, like, I tend to stray a little bit away from, like, shoujos and, like, yaois. Because back in my day, it was, like, the piddliest of plot and then smut. And, like, that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But, like, again, I got burnt out of it. So, like, that's why I go elsewhere looking for different stories.
Yeah, it's fun to have a romance sometimes, but you want more sometimes.
Yeah, but if you give me a mystery to solve, too, holy shit.
Mystery and fucking, let's go.
Right? Or ghosts.
Ghost fucking.
We're like, ooh, history? Girl, you know me and a history romance.
We fuck on the Declaration of Independence.
Oh my god, let's go. When? Who? How?
I'm Nicolas Cage now.
Oh my gosh. Wait.
There is an undercurrent of general parasocial behavior. Alex's viewers are truly unhinged at times, kind of the typical streamer YouTube comments, but he helps nail down how tenuous this acceptance is for Jiwon. Like, he also makes mention that this behavior fills a void in his heart, so he's streaming to make himself feel better about something. It's just so fucked up that relationships that are this tenuous are the best he can do to fix himself. Like, I cannot express how depressing that is and how much more harmful that can be to a person.
So it's kind of like the idea of, like, the popular kid is surrounded by a bunch of mouthy other popular kids because, like, his parents aren't home.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's, like, the school commercials and the school shows we always got is, like, the bully is suffering because maybe he's not good enough at his studies. Maybe his parents ignore him. Maybe someone in his family is sick. And, like, that leads to him surrounding himself with people who praise him but don't really care about him.
So in this case, like, Jiwon isn't a bully to anybody else but DG. He really, in the bulk of the story, is only bullying DG. Everyone else, he is, like, perfect towards. So everyone, like, is.
But really, I guess what I mean, the chat was like, it's like he's the jock, and his chat is his go mess with Urkel,
A little bit, but, like, it's more, for as much as they'll support him, they would turn on him in a heartbeat.
Right. Like, okay, I'm saying.
I guess, yeah.
Because, I mean, like, maybe in real life that's not how it works, but in all TV shows, like in all after-school specials, they show you how, like, a friend could turn on you in a minute if you were popular and aren't doing, and that's why you gotta find your real friend, not your false friend. Stuff like that.
Yes. And, like, I understand that there are plenty of streamers, performers, YouTubers, whatever, that do what they do for attention. You really either have to be obsessed with the content you're making or enjoy attention to do those sorts of jobs. But you should never be in a position where a majority of your self-esteem is attached to strangers on the internet. that's just asking to burn out and have a miserable time.
Yeah, so it's like what I was just saying, but even harder.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot like that's what online is like too now. Is that
Mm-hmm.
you can have these group of people that hype you up, but then that would totally stab you in the back if like they perceive you as wrong.
Exactly.
Ugh.
And so that's where he is, and that's what Ji-won is attached to, is that environment. That's what props him up and actually makes him feel
Does
good.
Ji-won have any real friends? Because DG doesn't really have many, but does Ji-won have friends that are not online?
So that's an interesting question, actually, because I would say up until a point in the comic, he doesn't think he has friends either. I think he believes that his only friend is MD. So the BDSM streamer. I think that's the closest he has to an actual genuine friend, because MD knows more sides of him than pretty much anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say these are actually kind of two friendless nerds. Like G1 doesn't appear to be friendless, but it's definitely
no. So like this I like this stuff. So they're foils of each other again. I love a good foil. Mm-hmm. I'll probably bring it up every time I spot it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. That's very tragic and sad, and these two are going to help fix each other. Again, I can see why people love this kind of story. I've just been hurt before, you know? Just been disappointed before. Yeah. I swear I'm going to be a better Seme. It's still an asshole. Yeah. God damn it. Just get tired of it.
I also want to emphasize that even though DG's creep behavior is unintentional, it is still wrong. He doesn't deserve some of the treatment he gets from Ji-won, and definitely doesn't deserve what he gets from others, but he does need to, act right. He needs to learn. This is what I find most interesting about Minhwa's protags, is that they're undeserving of mistreatment, but they also accidentally increase their suffering. They learn hard lessons about addressing their flaws right alongside their male leads. Yeah, not to say that DG is a massive douche, but his biggest flaws are a lack of confidence in not addressing his goddamn trauma. But I love that restricting yourself from growing and feeling good about yourself is a flaw in this case. It's a good goddamn message.
No, but that's great, because, I'm trying to remember. In some of the straight was I'm reading, they're really pushing to encourage men to tell their wives, hey, you're more important than the baby. Mm-hmm. You are more important than the baby. Do not kill yourself for the baby. If something happens to them, we will be sad, but you are the most important. We will make a new baby because the baby is not here, is not alive. Because it's just they're having this real push for, women needed to be treated well, and it can't all just be about the fetus. Mm-hmm. It's also about you, the person. Mm-hmm. And so that is also its own form of self-care. So hearing that it's also being encouraged in the queer communities.
Yes.
That's really, the queer comics, the queer communities, that's really nice. That's great. Because, I feel like in media now, you're seeing a lot of people push on subjects that matter. Hey, we've got to get these pronouns right. Or, hey, this should happen. Or, this should happen here. We're trying to get out modern day messages, and I think that's really nice.
Yeah, so it's huge to me that is really the push, is that he should feel good about himself, and he should be supporting himself. He should be his biggest cheerleader, even if he doesn't have anybody else around him, kind of thing. Because for DG, it definitely cripples his ability to get close to people, because when we see how he and Chanwoo met, DG was trying to kind of ignore him and not get involved with him, again because of his own trauma. And Chanwoo said, nope, bitch, we're being besties. You don't have a say. I think you're cool and neat, and you're also gay, I figured out, so we should hang out and be friends. And it's that sort of thing that really cripples DG from kind of moving forward in his own life. And is also, I think, the main thing that increases his parasocial behaviors. Because when you are alone, you are thirsty for someone to be with you. When you're that lonely, you are thirsty for someone to connect with. So that parasocial meter is going to go right up to the top.
Yeah, as much as we call people who are creepy online creepy, a lot of the times it's just also sad. Yes. It's not just, ew, they're a creep. There's also sadness to it. Yeah. If they are unaware of their actions, that's when it's truly a tragedy. And then there are, of course, internet trolls who do it on purpose. Mm-hmm. But there's always that person who they're so sad. This is how it's happening.
This is the thing that they have. Every time I hear someone say, so-and-so person on YouTube saved my life, I really do believe that, because some people are in a really fucked up boy, and that's the bit of happiness that kind of buoys them forward. So
Yeah.
these are the two people you're dealing with. Is DG, honestly, if it weren't for Chanwoo and like his boss and one other character that we see a little bit later, would have really no one but his parents to turn to, and then he feels like he can't be fully honest with them.
Yeah,
That's
he's not out.
It's a really lonely existence. Yeah.
So honestly, since we are seeing him while he's friends with Chanwoo and his boss, we're actually kind of even getting to see like him doing a little better. So he was a little worse.
Yeah, when he started college, he was worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So we have somebody who's lonely in that way, and then Jiwon is lonely in a different way. Has all these people around him that like seem to like him and enjoy his company, but he still feels by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So reading through this the first time is wild, because Jiwon is just such a fucking jerk that you consistently feel bad for DG and want him to pull up and start respecting himself. But really, they're on more of an even playing field than you think. There's plenty of push-pull in their relationship, because again, naivety also means more likely to ask questions and evaluate situations from a different and less jaded perspective. It can be more difficult to manipulate someone sometimes if they're inquisitive and ignorant. Now, this is obviously not all the time, but it's like when you ask a kid, like, hey, can you go put the cups up for me? And they start asking, well, why should I put the cups up? Why should I put them up that way? Mm-hmm. Well, can I put them up this way? Well, what about this? What about that? And you feel like you get frustrated because it's like, just put the fucking cups up. Mm-hmm. This is kind of how the relationship is at times, where DG's asking, like, well, why should we do this? Or, is this correct, or should I do this? Or, I'm going to ask Chanwoo about this.
And so, like, in a way, BJ Alex is just like, no, just do what I tell you.
Yeah, he wants to be, just do what I tell you, but then he gets posited these questions back to him, and then he's like, well, I guess I'll explain a little bit.
But it's also not supposed to be a relationship, right?
Yeah, when I say relationship, I very much mean this weird thing they have going on, like, have sex with me so I can do my job kind of thing.
And it's going to become a relationship at some point?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the end goal, that they do have a relationship. Mm-hmm. But leading up to that, like, DG being so inquisitive and asking questions and being like, well, I don't understand what that means, or should we do this instead, kind of saves him from being in a worse situation, because Jiwon thinks he's smart enough to manipulate another person, but he keeps shooting himself in the foot.
Because he's not necessarily a mean person.
Yes, and then also his trauma keeps punching him in the back of the neck anytime he does think he has the upper hand. So he gets close to where it's like, I think I got it, and then he just gets sucker punched by his own shit.
Well, you gotta do the work. You gotta get better.
Yeah, because as much as I was saying, like, Jiwon caves all the time to things that DG asks for or says or whatever. Mm-hmm. And part of it's because DG proves to be similar to Jiwon's younger self. And so he kind of unconsciously is giving kindness to his inner child, except he's not aware that that's what he's actually doing. And so he can't fully heal even when he is being nice to DG. Mm-hmm. Like, he's still in the murky part of actualizing what's been going on with him. So as I was saying before, like, overcoming trauma is a major theme. Plenty of interpersonal trauma that's exacerbated by societal views and personal insecurities. Like, Jiwon is a jerk, for sure, but only part of that is his base personality, and so much of the rest of it comes from his personal experiences. DG is super shy, but as we were saying a little bit earlier, he continues to fold in on himself every time he's pressured or bullied, because he's just not at a confident point.
He's not built up yet.
Yes. Jiwon also had a pretty typical gay experience. Multiple short relationships with girls when he was younger that didn't quite feel right, and then he falls hard when a dude gives him attention as an older teen. But he also has plenty of unresolved trauma from other sources that lead him to being a lonely teen, and at this point, a fairly lonely adult. DG also, unfortunately, had a not uncommon gay experience, but that event was the catalyst for his current loneliness. He'd already been a shy kid, and then he got hit with a wave of homophobia, and it pushed him back multiple steps on his journey towards confidence. Mm. And this is how we have, like, lonely adult.
Yeah, I really like how well-rounded these characters are.
Yeah.
Because this is much better than my weary days of reading the worst examples of a couple in a comic. But, like, no, this is really nice. Like, they're super well-rounded. Mm-hmm. And it's probably silly to want this every time I pick up a queer media. But I do. I don't want just, like, I'm the semi, and I'm the okay, woo. I don't want that. I want some well-roundedness.
Also, especially for longer comics, you do want there to be a little more oomph to it, for sure.
Yeah, you want something going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really nice. I am enraptured now.
Yeah. So this is the thing that Jiwon and DG really have in common. They're both lonely and have confidence issues and have a trauma that they refuse to open up about no matter what. This is also a bit of a coming out story. Both Jiwon and DG come out in a way and receive acceptance from those who are close to them. They both end the comic feeling fulfilled and accepted just as they are. So for DG's, it's probably going to be obvious that like he comes out to somebody or some people or whatever.
Okay.
That's part of his. Jiwon's I'm not going to step too much into, but he does.
Because of too many spoilers.
Yeah, he comes out as himself, essentially.
And you'll tell me after this is done?
I'll give you all the deets. Okay, so this is one of my big things about this, and I didn't realize this until I read it third time. Yeah, homophobia loses in a big way, which is a win for Jiwon and DG. But it also feels like a huge win for me also. It's just nice to read something fictional where homophobia loses out. Because there's some scenes towards the end where we've discussed homophobia as far as DG's history, but it also comes up again in like the climax of the story. And for once, homophobia has to take a hike and like you give it a big FU. But for so long, queer comics have focused on beating homophobia or rising against it in some way, where the queer protags have to fight and the onus of changing things is entirely on them. But in this case, it's the people around them, their social circles, that make the conscious decision that homophobia has no place within their lives, and that above everything else in this comic, it just feels so goddamn good.
Yeah, no, I like the sound of that already.
Yeah, it actually gave me chills a little bit because I realized, like, oh, they don't have to be the ones fighting. People are fighting for them.
Yeah, they don't have to do it alone. Like, that's what every queer person wants when you're talking about an ally. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do this alone. Yeah. I want someone to have my back.
And that's what it is, and this one is the allies rise up and are the ones being like, hey, this isn't correct. Yeah. We're not going to accept that kind of thing.
Because, like, I know you're not going to tell me, but I'm just wondering about DG's parents. Like, if they find out, does he get, like, acceptance, which we are seeing more now in modern times, or does he get the sad story of no, he doesn't get acceptance? And I know I can't know that now, but
in this case, I'll tell you, we don't ever step back in with DG's parents. However, there are a couple things that happen towards the end that give you the idea that either they do know or they're okay about it, or that essentially
they're speculating.
There are so many more people in this comic that will accept DG for who he is, and that high school is high school, and I think the context that he's also missing in his experience is he went to an all-boys high school.
Oh.
I think if he'd gone to a mixed high school, there would have been less of that pressure and less of that fear around him being gay than there would have been in a mixed high school.
Okay, so he's just a boy at a boys' school, and then he's gay, and everyone's like freaked out about it.
Yes, that's way weightier of a situation to be in.
Yeah.
So that's even the thing is, like, it doesn't seem like anybody else is that concerned about his orientation when it comes down to it. So you don't know for sure, but it's leaning towards, yeah, they probably have an idea and they don't really give a shit.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But like, even if that's not the case or whatever, even if that wasn't the case, even if they do the thing where they don't accept him, it's just nice that like you said that there's going to be other forms of acceptance in this, and that's nice. That's great.
Yeah.
Super great.
In the end, this comic is about healing from past trauma. When I originally read this, I was livid for so much of the first half, only focusing on actions instead of reading between the lines and really trying to understand the characters' motivations. And Minghua is a real G for doing that. She really had me and so many other readers by the balls. Even at the end, I felt more like Chanwoo and had come to accept Jiwon, but hadn't really forgiven him. But most people on this earth deserve a second chance, an opportunity for growth and change. And trauma is a son of a bitch, and that can twist even the sweetest, most upstanding people into husk of themselves when said trauma isn't addressed.
Are we getting a little hint that maybe Jiwon was a sweet boy once?
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink, okay.
Reading through this with the fresh eyes of an adult that's been through therapy, I can see bits of both G1 and DG in myself, and suddenly I don't hate any character of the story anymore. Except for King Hun. He can go suck a bag of dicks for all eternally. Everybody hates that guy. You should hate this guy.
Look.
He's the only one who doesn't get redemption.
Me reading between the lines, let me guess, he's a homophobic bully too.
He's every asshole you could imagine. I would throw this dude down the stairs.
So he's homophobic. I gotcha. Got it.
I will also say that this comic is really nice to look at. Ming-Hua only had one assistant while she was working on this.
Oh, wow.
I know, she needed to have somebody else. She only had one assistant, so she has a very limited color scheme. It's pretty much it's all monochrome, like black, whites, and gray. But she has pops of red every once in a while to like add emphasis or impact to a scene. Some pivotal moments are in full color, which really ups the emotional impact of those scenes. But also like having this limited color palette allowed her to deliver really high quality work. Because again, it's her first big comic that I think she's really proud of. So she spent a lot of time on it and was able to like not have a bunch of hiatuses and do a bunch of extra content because she wasn't working with as much material each time. She wasn't having to color and everything and add a gradation and draw building and all this other shit. So you can definitely see how much her style has solidified between BJ Alex and her new comic Jinx, specifically because she now also has had more time between chapters, and then she also has like multiple assistants instead of just the one guy helping her out.
Jinx is the comic that it also enrages people as much as BJ Alex did.
More so, I would say. Yeah. There's some metaphor about BDSM in this story as well. Something struggle and then like big catharsis. But I don't know, Ming-Hua just maybe likes BDSM. Who knows? But all of her stories feel a little bit like, hey, I'm spanking you, and then here, let me give you the aftercare. Because especially reading Jinx is like that.
Oh, so the whole comic feels like BDSM.
Yeah, Jinx is definitely like that, and we haven't gotten her aftercare yet. But with BJ Alex, it does feel like you kind of get punched in the chest for a while, and then it's like, my bad. Also, here's a soothing drink, and I'm gonna put some salve where I punched you in the chest, and we're gonna talk about our feelings, kind of thing. Whatever the inspiration for her stories, whether it's BDSM or porn streamers or MMA or whatever it is, she definitely knows how to suck viewers in and make them hate and then pull a complete 180 on them. I have felt so tricked reading BJ Alex. She fucking bamboozled me into wanting a positive ending. And that's a true testament to her writing. In reality, she leaves tons of hints as to where things are going and about characters' motivations, but she's got you too upset to see it. She's a master at manipulating her audience, and I'm excited to keep being gaslit.
Ah, so she's a good dom.
But that's all I really have for today. Obviously, I do not want to give the big stuff away, because when you get there, it's really good. Like, when you get there, you feel devastated.
No, I'm now just waiting for you to turn off this microphone so we can talk about it.
Yeah. But you can find BJ Alex on Lazen.com or in print via Kun Books or other Korean book retailers. BJ Alex contains dubious consent, rough sex, risky sexual behavior, grooming, BDSM, age gaps, asshole behavior, homophobia, emotional abuse, physical abuse, neglect, drunk mistakes, manipulation, and aggressive stream comments. Some of these warnings will only apply to the side stories, but the side stories are also very worth your time, and so I suggest you read those as well. If you want to see more from Ming-Hua, you can find her on Twitter at _Ming-Hua, that's _MINGWA, on Instagram at Ming-Hua _2, or you can read her newest comic, Jinx, also on Lazen. I understand that her work generates a lot of big feelings, but do not come for her. Act like reasonable fucking people, and if you have beef, complain about it in your little covens. Do not bring it to her front porch. She's just making a story. Enjoy it or don't.
Yeah. You can tap out. You can use your safe word.
Exactly. You can always leave.
Right. Hey, you clicked on the comic after reading the tags. That was you reading the contract. You clicking means you gave your consent. But if it's too hard, then you back out and don't say anything.
Exactly. Well, if you want more from us in any capacity, you can find us at, if you want more of us for any reason, you can find us at whole_chat at Twitter, whole-chat at Bluesky, whole-chat on Tumblr, or you can email us at whole.chat.69@gmail.com. All those links will be included. You can also listen to this on YouTube, though it's likely going to have to be edited, so if you really want to uncut, any other podcasting platform is probably for you. Other than that, we're all done for today, so make sure to tighten up.
Yeah. And just to give it my whole chat rating, I'm very interested in this story. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Whole.
Thanks. Bye.